welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be unboxing this big beautiful bag of mystery books. There are 10 hardcover books in here and the bag was $9.99, but at the time the store was doing a buy one get one free, so I actually got 2 bags of 10 hardcover books for the price of $10. Even though some of these books I'll end up donating for the price and the amount of decent books I do find in these mystery bags, it does make it worth it for me personally. I did do another video just like this one. It was either last year or the year before. I can't remember. It was quite a while ago. But it was so much fun and I got a ton of positive feedback from you guys on it, so I thought I'm gonna do this again, why not? So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? I actually have my laptop here in front of me because just like last time, some of these books I'm not gonna have any clue what they are, so I am gonna need to look them up just to get some information on them. So are we ready for this? Am I ready for this? I am so ready for this. The first book right on the top is Susan Isaacs, a novel. So this book is actually called Red, White, and Blue by Susan Isaacs. It's about Charlie Blair of Wyoming and Lauren Miller of New York. They start out as strangers and they're drawn together by an appalling hate crime and by their mutual passion for justice. La 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 la! They are not simply kindred spirits, but actually kin, descendants of immigrants who met on a boat on their way to America in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. There's a whole lot to read on here, but it doesn't look like it's too bad. I don't know. I might actually be interested in trying to read this one. It depends on how it goes, so we will see. Alright, next book number 2. Coming off the top. David Morrell the Protector. A novel. The New York Times best-selling author of The Fifth Profession. Another really nice, good condition hardcover book. They were trying to sell it used for $10. The other one was they were trying to sell for $8. Let's see what this is about. Kavanaugh is a former Delta Force operator who now works for Global Protective Services, a private firm catering to those in the direct of circumstances. They offer security and deliver results, even if it entails forging official documents and laundering money to create a new, untraceable identity. They will safeguard a client from any legitimate threat. Their latest assignment is Daniel Prescott, a brilliant biochemist hunted by lethal forces determined to learn the secret of a powerful new drug that he has created. Terrified and on the run and out of places to hide, he desperately needs to disappear. To Kavanaugh and his team, he's just another routine client. They begin taking the standard steps to make Prescott vanish, but as the plan nears completion, Kavanaugh's group is wiped out in a brutal attack, and suddenly it's clear that Prescott has a plan of his own. Ooh, this looks really cool actually. Well done, mystery hardback books. This is not bad. I am so far really quite impressed. So, let us keep going, shall we? Ooh, there's some small ones on the side, but I think I'll keep going down the main stack. Here we go. David Hewson, Dantes Numbers. Ooh, this one looks very historical. I want to say like historical fiction. It was a warm golden evening in Rome, a night filled with anticipation. A legendary director was premiering his new film version of Dante's Inferno. From around the world, celebrities gathered at the Villa Borghese as the paparazzi thronged among them. But within moments the event was in chaos. A man was dead, the film's star was missing, and a priceless relic had vanished. In David Hewson's masterful new novel of suspense, Detective Nick Costa finds himself and his fellow detectives drawn into a strange and terrifying limbo, the first of Dante's 9 Circles of Hell. They were trying to sell it used for $8.99. Let me see. Dantes Numbers. The Nick Costa series. I might have to look this up. I'm gonna look this up right now. I'm not sure if this is a part of a series. It just says a novel, but it does say that he has a series and this is like part of like the series. So I'm gonna look this up and see like if this needs to be read in a certain order or if this is a standalone. Because I've heard of Dante's Inferno, but Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. So this is part of a series, and this is like book number 7. The first one is actually A Season for the Dead. Then it's The Villa of Mysteries, The Sacred Cut, The Lizard's Bite, The Seventh Sacrament, The Garden of Evil, Dantes Numbers, The Blue Demon, Fallen Angel, The Savage Shore. Okay, but I will say that the series sounds extremely fascinating. I've never heard of it before. Now that I have book number 7, I just might have to look into seeing if book number 1 through 6 are worth reading. I don't know. We shall see. Who's next? Debbie Macomber, 20 Wishes, a Blossom Street book. Alright. I've heard this author's name before. I have. I'm not sure if this is the type of book that I want to be reading, but we're gonna take a peek anyways. What do you want most in the world? Anne-Marie Roche wants to find happiness again. At 38, her life's not what she'd expected. She's childless. A recent widow, she owns a successful bookstore on Seattle's Blossom Street, but despite her accomplishments, there's a feeling of emptiness. And on Valentine's Day, Anne-Marie and several other widows get together to celebrate. Well, what? Hope, possibility, the future? They each begin a list of 20 wishes, things they always wanted to do but never did. Anne-Marie's list starts with find one good thing about life. It includes learning to knit, doing good for someone else, falling in love again. She begins to act on her wishes, and when she volunteers at a local school, an 8-year-old girl named Ellen enters into her life. It's a relationship that becomes far more involving than Anne-Marie intended and also becomes far more important than she ever imagined. As Ellen helps Anne-Marie complete her list of 20 wishes, they both learn that wishes can come true, but not necessarily in the way that you expect. I don't know. I'm feeling on the fence about this one. Usually I tend to enjoy thrillers, mystery, adventure, fantasy, that kind of stuff. I might get some really good credit on that if I just turn it into my local used bookstore, so we shall see. What do we have here? Daniel Steele Echoes. Wow, we're having some popular, well-known names in this bag, I tell you what. Trying to sell used for $9.99. Well, let's see what this says. Well, I'll just read the top a little bit. It says, against a vivid backdrop of history, Danielle Steele tells a compelling story of love and war, acts of faith and acts of betrayal, and of 3 generations of women as they journey through years of loss and survival, linked by an indomitable devotion that echoes across time. So this is period piece, for the most part. It's about war. I wouldn't throw this out the window and say that it's a terrible book. Again, I'll have to look into this some more, but if you have read this, let me know if you liked it. Who's next? The Chocolate Castle, by Joanne Carl. Uh-oh. This one, fiction mystery? Lee McKinney sells chocolates and solves crimes. With panache and good humor. Interesting. After Lee finds a hidden trophy belonging to her aunt, a 45-year-old case starts to heat up the town of Warner Pier. When Lee McKinney Woodyard discovers a dusty trophy tucked away in a filing cabinet, inside 10 Hugh's chocolate, she is eager to share it with her Aunt Nettie. The timing couldn't be better. Nettie is hosting a reunion for her old high school singing group, the Pierre-Oettes, or something like that. Pierre-Oettes? But the trophy brings back terrible memories. The night of the group's trophy-winning performance at the castle ballroom, its owner was found shot to death. The insurance company called it suicide, and his wife insisted it must have been an accident. The town whispered, murder. What really happened that night? Was it a coincidence that the Pierre-Oettes never sang again? Does sweet Aunt Nettie have a secret past? What about the other Pierre-Oettes? I don't know, it's such a hard word to say. What do they know about the events that closed down a Lake Michigan landmark? Before Lee can take aim at the events of the past, someone turns up murdered in the here and now. Lee needs to keep her eye on the prize and hope the trophy will be the clue to finding the killer before she ends up a target herself. This actually sounds like fun, and it's a short book, so, ooh, images? Pictures? What? There's actually quite a few books that she's written, and they all begin with chocolate. Kind of cute, actually. This is really cute. The Chocolate Castle Clue. You know, I like this. This makes me happy. I just might like it. And giving it a shot couldn't hurt. Oh. Sharon Crumb. The Thing About Jane Spring. So this is missing its cover, but you can read the spine. There we go. Yeah. So unfortunately, without a dust cover on this, I have no idea what this is about. So we're going to look this up. It's a 2005 chick romantic comedy. It was her second novel, and it was published in 2005. I don't know what this means. The plot of the novel revolves around the title character, Jane Spring, an attractive and intelligent 31-year-old Manhattan assistant district attorney and West Point general's daughter who grew up without a female role model and struggles to understand why she fails to keep men in a relationship. Spring is described as materialistic, no-nonsense, aggressive, abrasive, and tomboyish, who makes old ladies cry on the stand and men run for the hills. So, it does say on here, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, it does say that it's bracingly funny. It's a winning fable about the seemingly lost art of being a lady. I don't know though. It sounds kind of boring, to be honest. They were trying to sell it for $7.99, so they must have thought it was worth something. I mean, I guess it was a hardcover, so. Well, with that being said, let's keep going. Gap Creek, the story of a marriage. This one looks really boring, you guys. They were trying to sell it for $9.99 used. Well, let's see what this is about. There's a most unusual woman living in Gap Creek. Julie Harmon works hard as a man, they say, so hard that at times she's not sure she can stop. People depend on her. They need her to slaughter the hogs and nurse the dying. People are weak and there is so much to do. She is just a teenager when her little brother dies in her arms. That same year, she marries Hank and moves down into the valley where fire and visions visit themselves on her, and where con men and drunks come calling. Julie and Hank discover that the modern world is complex, grinding ever on without pause or concern for their hard work. To survive, they must find out whether love can keep chaos and madness at bay. The end. Okay. From the New York Times best-selling author of The Last Templar, Raymond Kahuri, The Sanctuary, a novel. What? Guys, there's a verse on the back of this. What? The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. 1 Corinthians 15:26. What? Wait, hang on. Give me a second. Yeah, that is scripture right there. What is this? A geneticist and a CIA agent embark on a deadly quest to find the most dangerous book in the world and discover a secret that had destroyed everyone in its path for centuries. Naples, 1950. In the dead of night, 3 men with swords bursts into the palazzo of a marquess. Their leader, the Prince of San Severo, accuses him of being an impostor and demands to know a secret only the marquess harbors. In the fight that ensues, the false marquis escapes over the rooftops of Naples, leaving behind a burning palazzo and his raging prince, now obsessed with finding his quarry at any cost. Baghdad, 2003. An army unit on a routine mission makes a horrifying discovery, a state-of-the-art concealed lab where dozens, men, women, and children have died, the subjects of gruesome experiments. The mystery scientist they were after, a man believed to be working on a bioweapon and known only as the Hakim, the doctor, escapes, taking with him the startling truth about his work. A puzzling clue is left behind, a circular symbol of a snake feeding on its own tail. Let's see, there's more, but this looks really quite intriguing. Let me see. The Sanctuary, The Last Templar. So this must be a standalone book, but the fact that there's scripture on the back of this really has me intrigued. I really want to at least take a peek at this and see what it is like. I had a little bit of a hard time following the summary, but I mean, I was reading kind of fast, but you know what? I'm definitely interested in that one. They were trying to sell it used for $5.99, but I guess nobody wanted it, so let's keep going. One more book, you guys. Michael Palmer, The Fifth Vial. Ooh. Dun dun dun. This looks thrilling. From the blockbuster 11-time New York Times bestselling author comes a novel of medical suspense that begins with these chilling questions. Who ends up with the blood samples you routinely give for tests? What else are they being used for, and why don't you know? Okay, let me read this. I'm just gonna read this, and then we'll be done. Take a deep breath. From Boston, a disgraced medical student travels to South America to deliver a research paper that could save her career and becomes a victim of an unspeakable crime. Thousands of miles away, a brilliant, reclusive scientist, dying from an incurable disease that threatens to make each tortured breath his last, is on the verge of perfecting a serum that could save millions of lives and bring others great wealth. In Chicago, a disillusioned private detective on the way to his third career is hired to determine the identity of a John Doe killed on a Florida highway with mysterious marks on his body. 3 seemingly disconnected lives surging unrelentingly toward one another. 3 lives become irrevocably intertwined. 3 lives in a mounting peril, moving ever closer to the ultimate confrontation against a deadly secret society with godlike aspirations and roots in antiquity. 3 lives linked forever by a single vial of blood, the Fifth Vial. This was not a bad batch of books from this bag. To be honest, I am truly quite surprised. There were quite a few more well-known authors in this bag that was quite surprising to me. They all seemed pretty decent, decent enough. The last bag that I unboxed, I want to say, was not as great of a turnout as these books were. If you're interested in seeing that, that is on my channel. Speaking of my channel, if you haven't done so already, you should subscribe, especially if you like what you see. I would really appreciate your support, and as always, feel free to leave me any comments that you might have, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye-bye!